aware of C or C++, generally it will be used to design some systems. In such case, we are going to get a product from our language which we are using. When it comes to Python, Python is a scripting language where we can develop some multiple software components. Like we can create web pages and so on. Let me just don't give all the examples of or all the examples or applications of Python, but just an intuition. So whenever it comes to C or C++, generally it will be used to design a system. And coming to Python, it will be used to design an interface or user interface or something like that. And the other programming languages, you need to follow some sort of syntaxes and you need to compile it. What do you mean by compile? You should write your code in a text file and you will be having some IDEs or any other compilers to compile your program, so that whenever all lines in the programs are written, all lines in the program are written in a sequential manner following all the rules specified to that particular language, only then the particular program will be executed and the output is given to us. But coming to Python, it is an interpreted language. So what do you mean by interpreted language? Interpreted here, it seems that you'll be having some IDEs. So I am not very much sure all of you are aware of IDE, but what do you mean by IDE? It is an integrated development environment where you can run your program. Whenever we write a program, there is a requirement for us to run that program. So let me just call it running a program or compiling a program or anything that you are aware of. But let me say I'll be running a program. What you need some compiler which understands the program that I have written and returns me some output. So in that scenario, we treat our Python to be an interpreted language because, yeah, someone have answered it. So I do not want to explain it in a very technical terms. I just want it to keep simple. Someone has answered that it will be converted into a bytecode and so on. Yeah, it will be converted into bytecode and so on. We'll be seeing what is that in our later slides. But okay, what do you mean by interpreted? We can write our program in the IDE which we are using. Yeah, it is also an execution engine. So let me just say, we'll be having something called as console in our Windows. Okay. And the Windows operating system doesn't come with an inbuilt Python packages. However, let me just assume that I have installed some Python packages and I'll be running some program. In such cases, what I can do is I can write my command in the command prompt or in the command prompt and just check for the output. So what does it mean? I can write my program in a single line and check whether I am going to get the expected output or not. So the major things what you need to remember is Python being a high level language which can be understood by all the human beings, as well as it is a scripting language and a interpreted language where the compiler interprets it. Let me not just tell you in a technical terms, but what you need to understand is Python runs the code line by line. Until it gets an error, it will be giving us some output in whatever the fashion we have written it. And it is a very popular programming language. You people are here to learn Python because something has boomed the Python. What does it mean? Someone has showed you or some application has excited you people to learn Python. Let me say, hope you are aware of machine learning and all the machine learning algorithms or the machine learning models can be designed using our programming language called as Python. And let me just go to the next slide. So what are the differences between a scripting language and a programming language? As I said, scripting, it will be something as a user interface. What I exactly mean is A scripting language can control another application or another software. So what does it mean? I'm having a website and that particular website can be controlled with the language which I am using. So here our scripting language is Python, and our Python can control another application or software. So what do you mean by applications? When it comes to our systems, it comes will be calling applications, or if you just say in your mobiles, you'll be calling it as apps, very general apps. You'll be having some apps in your Play Store, and all these apps can be controlled by a scripting language. Whereas coming to the program, it is just some sequence of instructions, and you'll be asking our computer to perform those instructions. That's it. And it does not do any other specific tasks like controlling a other software. And this is for your information. And what is that? History and why the name Python. So what do you mean by history? So who invented Python? When was it invented? Why he invented, or why is it only named as Python? If I just give you a small introduction about its history, it was invented in Netherlands in early 90s, which means in 1990s by Guido van Rossum, the inventor, and it came into the implementation in the year of 1989 December. From that, from there onwards, people started using Python as they just understood the importance of Python. Where you people will be understanding the importance of Python in next slides. But however, just it is for your information that it was invented in Netherlands in 1990s by Mr. Guido van Rossum, and it was named after a show name called as Monty Python, which is a circus show and which is a famous TV show in Netherlands. The person who have invented this Python have named it as he just watches or likes that program very much, I think. Maybe you people also will be watching some TV shows or you'll be watching some web series. If you people design some programming languages, you people also name it. Okay, something like he just named a Python after a name called as Monty Python. And most important point coming to this Python is it is a open sourced language. So what does open sourced mean? It is available for everyone in the world to use Python at free of cost. So whoever have invented Python or the one who is developing the Python doesn't charge anything or any cost from the users. They just provide the Python for free of cost. So it is termed it to be a open source programming language. We can use it without any cost. And it is just a funny statement by Mr. our inventor. So what does he mean? Python is an experiment in how much freedom programmers need. So he indirectly says that initially when the inventor was doing some experiment, he was unable to understand the complexity which was present in C language at that time. So what he decided is, he decided to write a program that it should be in the form of English itself. There should not be heavy or complex syntaxes or flower brackets, etc., that you use in C or Java. But the language which he assumed to design should be a very easy language. So in this fashion, what he is saying that a Python programmer needs much more freedom. That means you should write a program so that whoever reads that program might understand. And too much freedom and nobody can read another's code. It's just a controversial statement that it's not that nobody can read it, but Python is having a freedom that once if one person writes a code and anyone who are aware of little bit syntaxes about the Python can understand it. And even though you can write the same program in C as well as in Python, but coming to Python, whatever the code you will be writing, it will be in a very short. That means it will be too little when compared to other programming languages. He says that even though it is too little and it can do some dangerous things. Dangerous means some complicated or very informative or some essential things, something like that. So here is just a history I have created and nothing much in this. I'll just give you some other scope regarding the Python, something like, as I told, Python being a very easy and simple language to learn, you did not to worry what are the packages or modules or what are the elements present in the Python. You just, for this session, you just focus on, so while you are learning Python, that's it. And here what I have mentioned is the scope of Python. What does it mean? The use cases of the Python, where we'll be using it. And once we just come to know the use cases, what happens? We'll be understanding the scope of Python. That means we'll be understanding where Python can be used and we can learn our Python in that use case only. Let me just say, if it comes to science, the Python will be used in bioinformatics, where you will be getting some information regarding the sciences, or the Python can be used in system administration, like the WebLogic or the WebSphere or the Unix. And coming to the web applications, you can create a user interface using the language called as Python with some modules or packages which are present in it. And coming to Python, let me give you some interesting point. Python have over 1 million inbuilt modules or functions. So Python makes our tasks easier. Let me say, in C program, if you want to sum two numbers, not two numbers, let me say I need to sum some 100 numbers. What you need to do, you need to keep adding all the numbers, and so you'll be getting the output. But coming to Python, you will be having a simple method or inbuilt function called as sum. And if you give some input and some of the numbers which you are interested to add into that inbuilt function, what it does, it directly gives us the output. So what does our inbuilt functions do? They make our task easier or our life easier to perform such operations. Here, the sum inbuilt function might seem very simple to you people, but there are many complex inbuilt functions in our Python which makes our task easier, and that's the reason why everyone feels Python to be very easy language, and it is used in testing scripts. So the words which are written here might be confusing, or they might be a bit clumsy to you people, but just don't worry. They are just applications. It doesn't mean that you can't understand them. Once you just start getting into it, you'll be understanding what is what and other things. So why do people use Python? So when they are having many other programming languages, why do generally people use Python only? Is because of the following factors. So we can perform object-oriented programming using Python. I'm not very much pretty sure how many of you are aware of object-oriented programming, or concept called as OOPS. But okay, whether you know it or not, you just remember a point like, we can do object-oriented programming using a programming language called as Python. And the only syntax you need to follow in our Python is indentation, simple syntax. Yeah, Python will be having a simple syntax. As already mentioned, it is a free and open source programming language where you can install the Python packages and be using it. Don't worry about how to install Python packages. We'll be covering once we start our real sessions. As it is a demo session, just make sure that you can use your Python at free of cost, and there is no requirement to pay any fee for using it. And it is portable. So what do you mean by portable? If you are writing the program in one system, that particular program can be compiled or run in some other systems also. That means you can carry that particular program file from one system to other system and execute it. The only thing you need is the IDE, which understands the following program which you have written and will be giving the output. So we are having another point called as mixable. So what do you mean by mixable? Your Python language enables us to mix some other programming languages with itself. So as an example, you can write a Python program in combination with a C programming language. So that is what the mixability. It is easy to use as well as easy to learn. Once we start dealing with the Python concepts, only then you will understand why Python is easy and why it is easy to learn. So who uses Python today? There are many companies which uses Python today. There are some of the companies, let me say, we are having Google. So does it seem for you people that Google uses Python? And the answer will be yes. Because Python is having vast applications where it can make your life easier, and also as it is having many inbuilt packages, it is also making the programmer's life easier to perform some multiple tasks. Let me give an example. When you are typing some query in your Google, let me say you are opening your Google and typing some statements. So what does the Google do? It automatically generates the next sentence. Let me say, if I am going to type Mahesh Babu, it automatically shows me some additional words added to it, like Mahesh Babu age, Mahesh Babu date of birth, Mahesh Babu new film, something like it already gives us some suggestions. So how are these suggestions being given to our Python? Even though the backend tool being used is machine learning, the machine learning algorithms will enable Google to give us such results. But those algorithms which are written to generate or to predict the future words are written using a programming language called as Python. So I am just interested to say that whatever the machine learning algorithms or any other technologies, let me not restrict to machine learning, any other technologies which you are having can be, the algorithms which we'll be using in the technologies can be built using our free and interactive programming language called as Python. That is what I'm interested to say when I'm taking example called as Google. Someone have already given another example, Instagram. Yes, Instagram will also be using this Python for their interface. Dropbox, if I just leave it to your choice, people will be giving many examples because you are more informative and knowledgeable than me. Yeah, I can. Dropbox also uses it. Not only that, companies like Intel, Cisco, Qualcomm, IBM, all these companies will be using Python for hardware testing. So how do they use it for hardware testing is, whenever we are having some hardware to be developed and that should generate, let me say, it should perform some complex tasks. What I'll be doing, I'll be adding some software part to that hardware kit, and I'll be testing the effectiveness of the product that I have designed. In such cases, these companies will be using our Python in hardware testing. And ESRI also uses Python. So what is ESRI? Environment System Research Institute. So the Environment System Research Institute also uses Python as a end user customization tool for its popular GIS mapping products. And also the YouTube video sharing service, which is enabled by the YouTube company, was also developed by the programming language called as Python. So what does it mean? Python is having vast applications and there are no limited applications that our Python has. It is having vast applications where it can control both software applications as well as the hardware applications. So Python will be a language where it can be used anywhere. Wherever there is a requirement to use some software part or whenever there is a requirement to use some hardware part, Python enables to use it. Not only in such hardware or software parts, if I just give in detail, Python can be used in system programming. Whenever we are interested to design a system, we can use our Python to program. And also, as already mentioned, it is also useful for web development. Here, what the graphical user interface program means is, we can create our user interfaces using the programming called as Python. The Python programming will be having some inbuilt packages as well as modules called as scikit-learn or some other programs. So what it enables us is, whenever we use some inbuilt packages or modules, it enables us the user interface applications. Like whenever we are filling, let me say I'm going to fill I'm going to create a Facebook account. In that case, what I need to do, I need to give some credentials while creating my account. So what it asks, it will be asking for us the first name, last name, email ID, phone number, and the password and date of birth to create our accounts. So what it is showing, it is giving us some option or some boxes or text boxes for us to enter some data in the web page. And such complex or such similar tasks can be performed using graphical user interface packages, which are available in our Python, as well as it is also used for internet scripting, component integration. So what do you mean by component integration? When you can integrate the particular Python program software language with a hardware toolkit, so that that hardware toolkit works according to the program software program which we have written. And using Python, we can also manipulate the database. So what do you mean by database? We'll be having some particular data which is stored, let it be stored in a cloud or it be stored in our internal systems. But however, the storage which we are having, we can manipulate or manage or analyze that particular data using a programming language called as Python. Naturally, to do or to visualize or to perform some data analytics, we'll be using some other programming languages like SQL or Oracle or something like that. But the following same visualization can be done using a simple programming language called Python. As well as gaming, we can create gamings, images, robots, and many more. It's not like robot, the software which a robot runs. The software can be designed using our programming language called as Python. So with all the applications I have told so far, what we can comprehend is Python can be used in numerous technologies. Let me say, to be a member, there are some technologies like IoT, machine learning, data analytics, cloud computing, and some other things like big data analysis or a blockchain and so on. All these major technologies can be handled with our programming languages called as Python. And there are almost 13 different technologies where our Python enables us to perform different tasks on that languages. As said, machine learning models can be created using a programming languages called Python, and also the machine learning algorithms can be applied to different data sets using our program called as Python. So Python enables to work us using some different technologies. So why is it different from C and C++? If you just learn C, what you can do is you can only perform system operating, but you cannot design a web page. And similarly, if you want to visualize some data which is in your database, you will be using a language called as R programming language, or some SQL queries. So that when you learn SQL or R programming, you will perform some operation called as data analytics. And if you only learn Java, what you can do? You can only do web development. So if you need to do something like operating system, and if you need to do web development, and if you need to do data analytics, there is a requirement that you need to learn some different program or unique program for unique applications. And what does our Python do? It is integrating all such applications, so that if we just learn Python, all such heavier tasks can be done using the programming language called as Python. So some basic facts about Python is, let me just recap. It is a high-level programming language, and it is also told multi-purpose because it can perform such complex tasks. It can be used in object-oriented languages. It follow a simple syntax called as indentation, and whoever writes a Python program, it enables the reader to easily comprehend the program and understand the backend working of the code. And also all the tech gains like Google, Amazon, Facebook, Instagram, Dropbox, Uber, all these companies will be using Python programming language as their main programming language. So generally, when we just see in our jobs, or let me say, let us come to a particular company called TCS or any some other companies. So they will be asking some basic knowledge in Java. So why are they only interested in Java and why not in Python? Is Python is booming from past few years. Before that, Java has a trending applications, and Java has its own uniqueness to perform any tasks that Python can do. But once the users or the programmers have understood the importance of Python, as well as the libraries which it is having, as well as years are tending, what is happening? The number of packages or number of modules or inbuilt functions are being increased in our Python. So it is enabling some multiple or complex tasks to be done in a simpler fashion. So what is happening? Many big companies are changing their entire system from Java programming language to Python programming language because it enables us to do many complex tasks. So if you ask me, is it enough if I know Python and get placed in any other company? In the present scenario, many of the companies expect Java because whatever the services they are giving, they will just depend on Java programming language, because all the hiring companies will be a service-based companies where they need to provide service to the end users. They'll be developing some applications. So developing applications is made possible using Java. So as they are tend to that particular Java, they'll be testing your Java skills. But in next year, what will be happening is all that applications will be developed using a programming language called as Python. And if you are having a good grip in Python, companies will automatically recruit you if you are having a good knowledge in Python itself, because you can work on different technologies, like 13 major technologies which we are aware, and that major technologies can be done using our Python language called as programming. Let me say examples for such technologies to be machine learning and some GUI applications. These GUI applications can be performed using the inbuilt module called as Tinker, Kiwi, and PyQt. Don't worry about the technical terms. It is just for information. And the web development. For web development, Python is having a particular framework called as Django, which enables us to create web applications like YouTube, Instagram, or Dropbox. And we can also process images. So you are not sure whether you are aware, but for image processing, we generally use MATLAB, which will have its own uniqueness in performing some applications. But coming to Python, Python can also perform image processing using a open toolbox called as OpenCV, which enables our Python to process different images, as well as web scraping. If you are aware of Selenium, you will be understanding what is web scraping, and some other text frameworks, or in any other multimedia context your Python will be using. Let me give you another example for text processing. So you will be seeing some reviews of movies in the internet. Once you just search for the review of a particular movie, you will be getting the reviews, like it is having a IMDb rating of some 5.6 or 8.9 or something like in a scale of 10. And how does this text, or the user is understanding or giving the rating, or the software is understanding the user ratings and understanding and giving us the rating. It is done using text processing. Whenever user writes some comment, the backend algorithm which we are developing will understands the text which we have written and generates some value, like whether the given comment is a positive review or it is a negative review. And this task will be done with some machine learning algorithms like natural language processing algorithms, but do not worry about it. The task which is performing, like classifying them to a negative review or a positive review, is done by an algorithm. But the algorithm which was built to perform such task is designed or developed using a programming language called as Python. I hope you have gained some insight of Python, its applications, use cases, and its differences from other programming languages, and its applications in different technologies. You just might have got a information like it can be used in different technologies, but not how. To just know how, first you need to learn Python, and only then you can understand how different technologies are using our Python code to develop them or to develop some algorithms. So coming to Python execution, here let me introduce you something called as bytecode. So what happens, as I told, if you write a program, we need some compiler or some interpreter to understand whatever the sequence of statements which we have written and give us some output. Obviously, that part should be done by a system, where system cannot understand English or any other language that I write. So in such cases, what we'll be doing is, our Python code, which is in high level language, it will be compiled. What do you mean by compile? It will be converted into a machine understandable language called as bytecode. So whenever you create a file, writing a Python program, let me say I'm going to create a text file and I'm going to write some Python program in it, and I'll be naming that file. So in the fashion for naming that file, we'll be using an extension called as .py as mentioned here. So what does .py refers? It refers that the following text file which I have created is of type Python file. Whenever our interpreter, whenever we try to run that particular file, text file which we have written some code, what does our interpreter do? It will be converting whatever the English sentences we are having in our text file into a machine understandable language called as bytecode, and it will be having an extension called a .pyc, and then we'll be getting some output. This is how generally generally any other programming language also do. But let me just say about Java. Initially, it need to be compiled, and only then we can run that program. But coming to Python, directly you can run your program so that it understands what are the sequence of lines written in the program and will be giving us some output. And this is all about the introductory session that I am interested to cover. And let me give you some other points. Python is having some different versions. Let me say, we are having Python 2.x as well as Python 3.x. So what is Python 2.x? It is an older version of Python where we can only perform some system operations using the 2.x version. Coming to the 3.x version, so what does x mean here? It can be any value like 1, 2, 3 and so on. So presently we will be dealing with a Python version of 3.7, which is a trending version in Python. And what does this Python 3.x version do? It enables us to develop hardware as well as software components. So Python developers are creating your Python language to enable all the heavier tasks to be done in a single programming language. And so it is being used in vast applications. And coming to the IDEs, we'll be having Python IDLE. So what does IDLE mean? it is integrated development learning environment. So who have created it? IDLE is a very simple offline compiler to run our Python program. It was developed by Python organization. Python organization. It is python.org. When you just type for Python in the Google, you will be seeing docs.python.org. It was the website which is being run by Python developers, and they have built a IDE called as IDLE, which enables us to write Python code and run it. Similarly, you are having another platform called as PyCharm. So PyCharm also is a very easy platform where you can write your Python code as well as run it. And coming, so our session also includes some applications like machine learning. As I have told, machine learning, ask for any doubts. Okay. So whenever it comes to machine learning, we can use a platform called as Anaconda, which enables us to use our Python in a different version. Let me say, Anaconda is an application which enables us to do machine learning algorithms, which enables us to perform machine learning projects in it. Similarly, you are having another online software called as, or online platform called as Google Colab, which was developed by Google, and it is a free and open source language. Whatever the Python sessions we'll be dealing in Google Colab. And if I just to show you how it looks like, here it is. So when I just type Google Colab in Google, it will be in this format. So it shows you the user interface which I am showing here. So what we can do is we can create a new notebook. So whenever I'm taking some file in this Google Collaboratory, what does it do? It creates a new notebook. So whatever the file it is creating, we call it as notebook coming to our Google Collaboratory. Need not to worry how to use this Google Collaboratory. As our sessions prolong, I'll be discussing each and every sentence or each and every application which is in this Google Collaboratory. However, for your understanding, let me just show a sample collaborator. See Google Colab file. How does it look like? So this is how a Google Collaboratory file looks like. It will be having some cells as well as some text boxes. So this is all the text that I have written here. And if I just say, this is the some line of code that I have written here. So if you just see here I am printing some value called as 10. You just don't worry about the applications or the usage of this particular platform. I'll be explaining in our later sessions. However, you just see that the following application is having cells. This is a cell and this is the another cell. This cell is a text cell and this is a code cell. If I just run this program, it is giving me an output to be 10. So if you are interested to print some output, you can just use a print statement and just print it. It is the flexibility in Python. Whenever we use C or C++, we need to start our program using #include, stdio.h and so on. We need to create a main function and only then we can use printf and print our statement. But coming to Python, all that heavier tasks are being deleted and only a simple statement called as print is used, and we can print whatever the information we can just print. And if you just see Python features, it is simple language, free, open source, portable, extendable and embeddable as said, high level interpreted language set, most libraries set, object oriented programming and so on. So whatever the topics I'll be covering, I'll be dealing this subjective thing regarding this Python as well as with in addition to the subject that I give, I will also be doing programming. It's programming also. Something like if I explain you some topic, immediately I'll be showing how to use it or how to develop a program using it. So whatever the code you write here, you can write that code in any other platforms like PyCharm or any other thing, and you can run the code. The code will be similar in any interface that you use, but The rules to use different interfaces will be different. And that's all about the Python demo session. Thank you.
Thank you
If you
so
are
much,
having
sir.
any doubts, okay,
Yeah,
sir.
it's open for doubt session. If anyone is having any kind of doubts, you can just ask the sir now. Any more doubts?
Yeah, actually they are muted.
Okay,
No.
that's fine. And I hope everyone has gained some good knowledge and insights from this demo session. Thank you everyone for taking part in our demo session. And we'll be having machine learning demo session followed by this. And the demo session link is shared in the WhatsApp group. So if anyone is interested to attend the machine learning demo session, you can join the session now. Thank you. You can leave this session, and if interested in the machine learning, you can join immediately. Thank you.